And we are back. Pokemon White 2 Hardcore Randomizer. The run continues here. Kicking this episode off with the Celestial Tower first encounter, and it's going to be the C-Dot here. It ends up with the Quick Feet ability. And then we take a plane ride over to Reversal Mountain here to run into the Heatmore for this first encounter. And unfortunately, his passive is going to end up being normalized. So any stab move he has, whether it's a fire move or a different move like Earthquake or what have you, it's going to be the normal typing. So just not exactly what you wanted to see in our last randomizer. We actually got a Kyogre that ended up with normalized, and it's just one of the less fortunate abilities that you can end up with in the randomizer. Regardless, we chuck the Great Ball and secure yet another first encounter. However, for our Strange House first encounter, it's going to be the iconic Crobat here. Chuck the Dusk Ball and secure it. And this guy ends up with the Solar Power passive. That brings us to our fight against Hugh here in Undela Town. And he's got 3 Pokemon. He sends out the Ditto first, and we answer with Alexandria, our Alakazam. Ditto's got some pressure on the side here, so we're a little bit nervous, but not too much as we go for the Calm Mind, hoping to beat Ditto to the punch here. It transforms into Alexandria, and I don't know if that carries over that first Calm Mind, if you think about it, as it leans into the Fusion Flare here and does massive damage through our double Calm Mind, which makes me think it does as we return a Fusion Flare of our own, and we cannot one-shot the Wizard. Ditto goes for a Calm Mind on its side of things, and let's just go ahead and finish this guy off. However, the Hyper Potion comes down, Hugh not wanting to lose his Ditto Alakazam as the Fusion Flare brings Ditto into about the orange or the yellow. Another Fusion Flare comes down, and are we going to hold? And yes, we do with 6 HP, and we are 6 levels above, and this Ditto is bringing us to the very brink. Absolutely insane stuff. The Ferrothorn comes down, and we can absolutely drop back with a Fusion Flare or sneak in a Recover since we do have +2 on that Calm Mind. We don't want to waste that as the Mirror Shot thankfully misses there. We go in for another Recover, holding on to that +2/+2. The Power Whip comes down though and does massive damage, and Alexandria drops to 14 HP. This Alakazam is holding on by a thread, and there we go. We fade away on the Grass Steel Behemoth, leaving Breloom here, who might have a priority move, but it does see through our Focus Sash, so we're going to get to safety. Alakazam really pushed against the wall. Cleveland comes down, our newly acquired Crobat. The Force Bomb is here. Do we dodge the Paralysis? And yes, we do. A little bit of critical hit on the side, but doesn't do too much damage since it is 4 times, not very effective. So we go for the Stab, super effective Fly here. The Black Sludge doing work, and Breloom is deleted. Hugh almost killing Alexandria the Alakazam, but we make it out without any deaths or casualties. And then for our Undela Town first encounter, it's going to be the cute and cuddly little Emolga here. He ends up with the Oblivious passive. For our Route 14 first encounter, it's going to be the Psychic type Chimecho. Drop back with the Dust Ball and secure it. She ends up with the Motor Drive ability. And then for our Undela Bay encounter, it's going to be the little Remoraid here. Secure it with the Dive Ball, and it ends up with the Sturdy passive. And then for our Route 13 first encounter, it is the Bundle of Seeds himself. He ends up with the Hyper Cutter passive. We need to find a Leaf Stone for him as well. And then a Pokemon I am definitely thinking of banning for this run, it is the Kricketot here, an absolutely legendary bug-type Pokemon. As we drop back with the Dust Ball and secure it, he ends up with the Pick Up ability. How about a Lucario, though, found on the Village Bridge here? It ends up with the Compound Eyes passive, drop back with the signature Dive Ball, and secure it. And then for our Route 11 first encounter, it's going to be the Sinnoh starter in Turtwig. Drop back with the Dust Ball and secure it. He ends up with the Suction Cups ability, and then the Torterra gets the Clear Body ability. However, because we got Turtwig so late in levels, we're not going to be able to get that Stab Earthquake, so it's going to be really tough trying to fit him onto the team. With all of these first encounters, we finally find one on Route 9 worth chucking a Master Ball at, and it is the one and only Genie. It is the Landorus with that ridiculous ground flying typing and amazing stat distribution. We will take this. It is now time to take on the 7th gym leader, Drayden. He usually has his dragons, but his team is completely randomized for this battle. We send out Krakus with our Chimecho here, tanking the takedown off of the top. It is stab and does massive damage. However, we do sneak in the yawn, which was the whole reason for this plan. Now we're going to swap into Lexington, our newly acquired Landorus, who has the Suction Cups passive, so nothing crazy there, but it doesn't really matter as we tank the takedown on the top. And man, this is just a showcase for how strong Staraptor really is, but we go for the Shell Smash strats here. I think Shell Smash was actually Bulldoze for the TM, so a lot of Pokemon can learn it, which is really cool. So we get +2 attack, +2 special attack, and +2 speed at the cost of our defenses, but honestly, Landorus is such a beefcake, I don't think it's going to matter too much as we lean into a +2 fly and Staraptor is gone. We also have the Shell Bell, so anytime we do damage, we're going to be healing up much like Leftovers as the Watchog comes down and is just an offering to the Earth power from Lexington here, from downtown, and the Watchog is deleted. That only leaves one more Pokemon on Mike's side of things, and it is the Butterfree for the 7th gym. Drayden was definitely holding out on us, but you gotta respect the Staraptor as we go into the sky one more time as the Quiver Dance is here. Butterfree trying to set up on one of our legendaries, and it's not enough. Butterfree falls, and Drayden forks over the 7th gym badge. And then for our Route 21 first encounter, it's going to be the Magmy, who starts off with the Sturdy passive, but gets Inner Focus later on. Chuck the Dust Ball and secure it. And then for our Humalai City first encounter, it's going to be the Ghost Ground Golett here, who has the Water Veil passive and then gets Sandstream upon evolution. All right, it is time for our 8th and final gym badge here. It's the fight against Marlin, usually with his water types, and he stays true to his name with the Kingler here. We've done a great job of keeping everybody safe, haven't lost anybody in quite some time, so let's see if we can see that through to the end in this fight. The Kingler cheeses protect. We just want to get that yawn set up. Cheese, the slam comes down, does decent damage off the top, but Karak is doing work here. The Chime Echo putting in the time that it takes to set up here. We have some really good options because I think 3 or 4 of our other Pokemon have access to that Shell Smash. It really just depends what we want to do as we sidestep the slam. Frankfurt from downtown. This Flygon is coming in hot. The Shell Smash is here. So +2 across the board as far as speed, special attack, and physical attack go. And you're exchanging those defense drops for an immense amount of pressure and power on the offensive side of things as we drop back with a Stab Bulldoze, but that really doesn't do much against Kingler's ridiculous defense stat. Thankfully, we tank that above half HP, and we can lean into another Bulldoze. We can go for the Rock Slide. We really didn't want to use Flygon here since Kingler is such a brick wall on the physical side of things. So maybe we should have went with Lexington for that special attack with the Earth power. But then again, Kingler might have Stab Water type, which is really dangerous, and the Protect comes down as we swap into Stockholm the Swampert for our plan B here. So Swampert also has Shell Smash and Protect for some added scouting out there. So we're +2 across the board again, and we sidestep another Slam, a very pitiful normal type move as we get a nice Shell Smash in on top of the Protect, so we really capitalize on Kingler cheesing us there as he smiles and he's ready. He's ready for more as we drop back with a Surf here. It is not very effective, but I think it'll still do the job as it is that special attack given the Crab's defenses as we've talked about. Maractus comes down and is actually a terrible choice for us as Stockholm is 4 times weak to only grass, and Maractus is the perfect counter, so we're going to have to swap out of here once again. We're going to get Tokyo in there, our turtle, and he comes in hot here. The traceability also lets us know what this Maractus has, and it is the Water Veil, so it cannot be burned as it leans into the Petal Dance here. We tank that no problem, though, and it is locked in and ready to stay here. But we drop all the way to 48 HP. The Rocky Helmet doing massive chip, and the Confusion comes down. Will the Flamethrower be enough? And yes, it will. We get a fadeaway crit on the Cactus, and that only leaves one final Pokemon in the Musharna. Mallory comes down here with her ace, the level 51 sleeping guy right here, right now, and we're hurting pretty good across the board. Half our Pokemon are bleeding out. Thankfully, Swampert is still full HP, so that's going to be a good swap as well as we go into Lexington, who tanks the Stab Psybeam on the swap, and that is not a crit. That was pretty decent damage, I will say, against a Legendary Genie here. So we're going to go for that Stab Fly. We fly up into the heavens. Musharna is chilling, goes for the Lucky Chance, so now we cannot crit him, but we should be fine here as we do a tiny bit of damage. That's about a fourth of Musharna's health bar as we sidestep that, no problem. The Rock Slide comes down, does good damage off the top. Now Musharna is about 40% HP. However, the Citrus Berry is here. The Flinch comes down, holding Musharna at bay, but it sidesteps our Rock Slide as we dodge another Hypnosis. The Rock Slide comes in. We connect this time, get a nice heal with the Shell Bell. Psybeam comes down. Do we get confused is the question. The Lucky Chant wears off, so now we can potentially crit the Musharna, but really, This Musharna is doing work against our Legend, so we're going to get Lexington to safety. We don't want to do anything too risky here that we don't have to. The defense girl comes down, so that may open the door for a Surf, but we go for the Shell Smash, buffing our special by +2, which could open the door for everything. Musharna is sleeping on the job. I'm just kidding. The Side Beam comes down, does good damage, and this is another showcase here for a good Pokemon that the opponent has, but Musharna cannot withstand that Surf. It falls, and that gives us our 8th gym badge against Marshall, not Marshall. That gives us our 8th gym badge against Marlin. But as far as this video goes, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the flip. Peace.